Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be presenting you the second game between Rhinomeister and ROOTDestiny. I am Galatia, and I'm with my co-caster Soldier of Chaos. If you haven't checked out our first game, please do. It was a great ZvZ macro style. And here we will be on Metalopolis in a
Close spawn
short
position.
spawn, close spawn position.
Absolutely. Destiny apparently giving the XX face, obviously not happy playing Rhinomeister 2 games in a row, probably suspecting him of sniping him at this point. Destiny as as arguably the most popular player who streams on a consistent basis is often the target of people who like to snipe him. Deezer being the most notable one, but there have been several other players as well. So right now in Destiny's mind, he's probably preparing for a bunch of mind games, thinking there is a possibility that this is a little bit one-sided.
Right, and we see Rhino mineral stacking right now, which will give him a little bit of an econ advantage. And Ryan, Greg and I have played a couple of team games with him. He's quite the team player who steals all your bases and don't think twice about it.
If by team
But
player you mean double expands and then yells at you whenever you can't hold off a 500 army supply push, then yes, he's a great team player.
yeah, that was sarcasm right there. Yeah, and he really has that superb macro style that is just so very, very Zerg.
Absolutely.
Um, those relentless waves of attacks, that crazy amount of expansions, which was more than Destiny's, which is ironic that he mentioned that in the previous game.
It was. I mean, basically, the reason Destiny won was Destiny's unit control was far, far superior to Rhinomeister's.
Right.
You saw Rhinomeister losing a lot of units when he shouldn't have, not placing fungal growths at maximum efficiency, and just doing a lot of things that Destiny was doing a lot of things just better than Rhinomeister, and that's the reason that we saw near the end Destiny basically just 1A and steamroll Rhinomeister's remaining bases.
Right, and we see Ryan and Destiny actually doing opposite build orders than game one.
Absolutely.
With Ryan putting down that first pool and getting gas right off the bat.
Absolutely. With close spawns on Metalopolis position, this is where you almost always see the standard ZvZ that we mentioned earlier with Ling Bling Micro. Destiny putting down the Spine Crawler right off the bat in order to ensure a frontline defense against any such play. Most likely, as soon as his hatchery is completed and the Spine Crawler is completed, he'll move that down there to help protect his natural. Given the fact that the natural has such a wide open area here on Metalopolis, you can see Rhinomeister has all this surface area highlighted here in order to walk him in. Not to mention he can swing his way around and come down in through the third.
Right, and we see Ryan's sixlings coming down.
Absolutely. In addition, we see him starting off that speed. We saw that again last game as well. Destiny did not get speed right off the bat, nor he instead chose to go for the Baneling Nest, which he is once again doing. That queen is in position to help deter the Zerglings. Destiny's starting to get his initial lings out, but that Spine Crawler now being uprooted and brought down to the natural, like we mentioned earlier. 2 queens to block the ramp in order to help Destiny get that Spine Crawler rooted and save him from Rhino's early pressure play.
Right, and I'd really like to see Ryan doing more precise control in this game because it was really that difference that cost him the last game, even though he had much better macro play.
Absolutely. Once again, we see Rhinomeister leaping to that early supply advantage, but the question is it going to help him out? He's got a 6 harvester lead at this point, but once again, we saw him be up for the majority of the game last time until the final battle, where Destiny simply just crushed him from a combination of superior unit composition and superior control.
Right, and we see Destiny being very confident in his control, morphing in those 3 banelings before getting speed.
Absolutely. Destiny is one of those people, obviously, as streaming is his main source of income. He plays this game quite frequently. He knows to the T whether or not he'll be able to kill something with 1 baneling, 2 banelings, or if he needs those 3 banelings. So when some people argue overcompensation, I feel in the latter games, Destiny knows exactly what he needs, bringing those banelings in to help save his queen, Rhinomeister trying to do a little harassed, is going to get one drone. Baneling's going to blow off 2 of the Zerglings. Ryan should pull back the rest of those Zerglings in order to save them, as there's no need to sacrifice them at this point in the game.
Right, defensive Baneling is becoming an increasingly popular ZvZ strategy. And Destiny putting down a fast Roach Warren.
Absolutely. As we mentioned, the ZvZ composition, that queen, by the way, is going to splat the Overlord that Ryan has set in. Ryan, unfortunately, didn't get very much information because the Roach Warren is down, serving as part of the wall off, as well as the Evolution Chamber for the natural. So Ryan does not, at this point, know whether or not Destiny is running Roaches or if he's planning something else. We can see through his vision.
Right, and this is a great choice for walling off, because in order for the units to get up that ramp or through the middle line, they will have to go through that queen as well as that spine crawler. So superb building placement.
Absolutely. SimCity all the way. People say Protoss are the only people that SimCity. Obviously, the Zerg now are learning the benefits. As Julia mentioned, it makes it now so the Zerglings can't quite just slip in very easily. They have to go all the way around, which allows the spine crawler several stabs. Going to kill off a couple Zerglings before they even approach a chance to get up the ramp.
Right, and we see Ryan going for that, once again, very macro-heavy style, getting Lair and Aspire in a third much earlier than Destiny.
Absolutely. We see a couple Baneling explosions going off here now as Destiny sends in a scout, sees what's going on. The Overlords are patrolling the main pathway. Obviously, we want to make sure both players have vision of the enemy, and if any enemy attack forces are coming in, those Overlords will be able to see them, and the player will have enough time to respond properly.
Right, and we see Destiny going for that more passive style, putting down more static defenses, and really forcing Ryan, to make moves.
Absolutely. Once again, Destiny, having scouted the Spire, puts down his the Spore Crawlers to protect himself from the Mutalisks. Additionally, immediately morphing in the Hydralisk Den and the Infestation Pit. He's basically we're seeing almost a repeat of last game in terms of build order compositions.
Right, it's very interesting because Destiny's playstyle is more of a reactive style, reacting more to what Ryan does, the aggression that he has, and I would say so doing the right counters to them.
Absolutely, and we see Rhinomeister taking to heart the advice that Destiny gave him. At the end of the last game, Rhinomeister asked him what he could have done to improve. Destiny responded with more bases. We see Rhinomeister taking his 4th at the 1040 mark. Just as his 3rd gets up and starts to be saturated, Rhinomeister is beginning to take that 4th at the gold, playing for that macro style that Destiny suggested to him.
Right, and we see the upgrades coming in for Destiny right now, getting both Groove Spines, Pathogenic Glands, and Glial Constitution.
Absolutely, and we now see Rhino finally dropping his own Infestation Pit and his own Roach Warren. However,
And Evo Chamber.
And Evo Chamber as well, yes. But we can see that Destiny almost has the Pathogen Glands done. 5 seconds left for those. That's going to allow him to immediately cast Fungal Growth. We're going to have a small engagement down here at Destiny's 3rd. A couple Hydralisks and Roaches versus Muta and Zerglings. I think...
Right, and we see those Zerglings really focus firing on these Hydras and coming off much better in that engagement.
Absolutely, because once the Hydras were gone, Rhinomeister's Mutalisks were having free reign on the air. They're going to be able to sit there, pick away at the 3rd, unless Destiny gets something out in time. Looking at the production tab, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to, so that 3rd is just gone.
Right. Unfortunately, Destiny probably did not have get a chance to cancel that.
Bringing
and we see 17 Roaches in production for Ryan. So we will be seeing the supplies shoot up quite a bit shortly.
Absolutely. We're going into that point where the Zerg macro, if kept under control with good larva injects, is about to explode out of control.
All right, and if you look at the income tab, Ryan has the clear advantage because that Destiny is forced to rebuild that 3rd, and Ryan's is pretty well saturated right now. Not fully, but...
Absolutely. Ryan has a 9 harvester lead as well as receiving about double the gas per minute. So he does have an economic advantage at this point. However, once again, as we saw, that isn't enough to beat Destiny. You also need to have good unit control. So this is going to come down to, can Ryan keep Destiny under control until he gets too big to fail of an advantage?
Right, and with Ryan having the gold expansion right now, Destiny cannot let this keep going, or else he's simply going to be out macroed. It doesn't. It's irrelevant. Even if he does have superb control, he cannot be two bases
Oh,
down, including a gold base.
beautiful fungal growth by Rhinomeister is going to allow him to pick off probably about 9 or 10 drones there. Destiny forced to pull back. And that
Right, and
engagement ended anticlimactically.
we see relatively similar unit compositions right now. Although Destiny does have see few less infestors right now,
He does. However,
and of
Destiny
course no mutas.
Yes, Destiny, however, does have 1-1 upgrades, and he does have about a 30-second advantage to getting the second attack upgrade, dropping a bunch of spine crawlers now down to make that wall that we saw the last. That is a lot of spine crawlers. This is basically going to prevent Rhino from forcing any timing attack, which could be coming at any point now. He has a 60 supply lead. We see those infestors making their way towards Destiny's third. I'm sure we'll see some fungal or some infested Terran bombs going off here very shortly. Also bringing in the mutas for good measure.
Right, but the thing about making that many spine crawlers is that, of course, that does cost the drones. So it's much more than just the cost of putting up that spine. It's that cost of what those drones could have been mining.
Absolutely. We see the Mutalisks moving in. They're going to target down the Queen. Hydralisks are going to target down the Mutalisks. Those infestors are not really doing anything except sitting there watching the show. They got front row tickets. They're just going to watch their comrades die a very unfortunate death. Meanwhile, we have a main engagement back here down at Destiny's Natural. The Wall of Crawl helping a lot when it comes to deflecting those roaches. Rhinomeister relentlessly pushing in, however. Good concave spread from his units. Destiny, however, now has a bunch of roaches in there to counter with infestor fungal support from the top. You're going to watch a lot of dead red here very shortly.
Right, those are great fungals, and Ryan's spine crawler wall being reduced to only 3 now.
However, I mean, it did its job. It brought the supply count now down to a 15-point discrepancy when it was 60. We see Destiny finally getting those infested Terrans off at Destiny's third. However, Destiny is going to clean this up before the hatchery itself falls. If we take a look at the workers killed tab, we actually haven't had as much drone death as we would have expected. Ryan's taken out 9, Destiny's only taken out 1. You'd think with all the engagement going on there'd have been a little bit more, but surprisingly not so much.
Right, and it's still anybody's game. Although Ryan has the advantage in supply as well as drone count, and as well as having that extra base, it's still Destiny, and he managed to come out on top the other game. So I wouldn't be surprised if he could do it again this time.
Rhino, once again, we see Ryan using those overlords as a meat shield in order to help prevent Destiny from focus firing down his units. Or, never mind, we're just holding an Overlord Council in the middle, and they're not actually going to help at all. That's perfectly acceptable, too. I mean, you know, you've got to have a lot of map vision. Make sure you've got 8 people all in the same area, because that provides you with more map vision.
Right, but I'm not completely sure about the use of... although bringing in Overlords will help, and we see an engagement going on, and...
Yeah, this engagement is going to favor Destiny, I believe. Just simply by the concave here, you can watch Rhinomeister's units all be destroyed. Destiny going to potentially back off after sniping a few stragglers, but Rhino's reinforcements coming in here, making those infestors burrowing, popping the infested Terrans. However, a good fungal growth from Destiny will ensure that the infestors do die. Sometimes it's better to run away and live to fight another day.
Right, but after that engagement, Ryan's definitely better off having so much stockpiled, whereas Destiny still is very starved for minerals.
Absolutely. That gold expansion really showing in the fact that Ryan's now floating about 1,500 minerals here. Destiny's kind of scraping away. He does have his third up, so he is able to now get decent level income. However,
right, but Destiny really stuck right now with those infestors at his potential fourth. That'll probably be coming back down, and trying to re-snipe his third.
Yep, Destiny bringing in an Overseer to help chase those Infestors away. Ryan going to sacrifice one Infestor to help get the other three out of there. I'm actually, okay, no, we're going to go in for an attack on the third instead. This is going to be negated
And
by that
all
Spore
these roaches
Crawler.
getting fungled.
Absolutely, we're giving a little chase here. Pick off a couple stragglers. Destiny going to back off. Doesn't want to overcommit at this point, which I agree with. He's down by 50 supply. Rhinomeister going in for another harass at the third. Firebombing all those infested Terrans everywhere. How much stuff dies? Destiny bringing his army in close will help negate the majority of the damage. However, Rhino wisely focusing down the hatchery. The hatchery will go down before the infested Terrans get cleaned up.
Right, and we see Destiny starting his fourth. But as of right now, it's becoming an award for attrition, and Ryan definitely has the upper hand just because of his map control.
Absolutely. Rhino definitely displaying a little bit better control in this game than he did the last game. And the fact that he's running now, he's got his fifth base up and is beginning to saturate it, versus Destiny only having two bases due to Ryan's extremely effective harass, is about to make a snowball effect here. As long as he can contain Destiny to harvesting regularly off of two bases, excuse me, one base actually, as Destiny's main is mined out, Ryan basically just has to stay on top of his macro, and then he'll be able to push with a 1-8 to victory.
Right, and we see Ryan's main army moving up right now to the fourth, getting some superb bungles going down.
Absolutely. We've got stuff dying on both sides here. The Spine Crawler is left over from Destiny's Wall of Crawl, helping poke off a few people on the bottom. However, there's enough units up at the top as well. Destiny attempting to side flank him, come at him from multiple angles. That's unfortunately not going to be enough. Rhinomeister's army is going to clean up, and as we can see, the Greater Spire is finishing just now for Rhinomeister. We're going to see his signature massive Broodlord play that Julia and I have had the privilege of witnessing multiple times. Very effective. He will basically just steamroll into Destiny at this point unless Destiny makes something happen very quickly.
Right, and all these overlords very low on health, but does not matter because he has 44 on the field. The thing about bringing overlords into the battle, though, is since they're AI, they are not on attack, so the AI will automatically attack them last. But, you know, whatever brings gives you the slight advantage.
Absolutely, and keep in mind, they also serve as a coverage. When you have overlords floating over your army, Destiny isn't going to be able to target fire with his Hydralisks or his roaches. He's basically going to have to allow the computer AI to target for him. And Destiny leaves the game, unfortunately, finally giving in to that relentless pressure that we see throughout the entire game by Rhinomeister.
Right. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, please send us an email at StarcraftSCTea.gmail.com. Please like us, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter and Reddit, and see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.